Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to give a couple minutes just to let some folks log on. So please stand by. We will be starting in 3 minutes. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Michael Quiroga, Chief Revenue Officer here at Asalon, and I'll be your host for today's DroneDog presentation / demo. A few housekeeping items. We will be reserving time at the end for questions. Please feel free to add your questions to the chat bar on the side, and we'll be answering those at the end. Also, if you're logged in with the email that you registered with, you will be receiving a copy of this presentation via email at the completion. A quick overview of today's event. We will be covering the following: problems addressed in the background, security tech and the innovations, live best practices and demonstration, and of course, our guest obstacle course race. So why are we all here today? The security industry is at an inflection point. Technologies like robotics, AI, and advanced sensors are helping our industry transition from a cost center into a division vital for business continuity. What we are seeing in the field? Well, we've been in business over 5 years, and we have spoken to C-suite executives as well as managers at the sites themselves. And the overall responses from a goals perspective, we've identified security objectives to be the following. Everyone is looking to reduce crime, increase safety, reduce spend, increase capabilities, increase innovation, and deliver value. From the problem side, we've identified, again, across all sectors, overwhelmingly seeing that the staffing need is high, the supply is low, there's unprecedented unpredictability, and the reliability is low. And currently, security is considered a cost center, not an innovation hub. And we're just about to kick out a poll, and so please take a second to fill this out. So the question: what do you think the biggest issue in security is currently facing? So in pole position right now, we're seeing staffing shortages, we're seeing unprecedented results and performance. So I think for now, everyone is in agreement that staffing shortages are really the main driver for problems here in the security industry today. So today we are focusing on robotics, specifically ground-based assets. However, from a high level, enterprises are rapidly adopting these technologies with eye-popping success metrics. Some high-level highlights on Asalon and how we stand out in the robotic security space. We're an American-made technology platform. Our founding team members come from a really unprecedented pedigree, MIT, the likes of Boeing, GE Aviation. And so we really have a strong core technology capability from our technical team. We are also part of the founding team members for the FAA Beyond program. We're currently deployed at the Memphis International Airport. And again, that gives us a lot of opportunities to really craft out the next wave of regulations from the aerial side. We're also the team leads for the Department of Homeland Security CPAC, focusing on critical infrastructure and the deployment and use cases around counter-UAS and UAS operations for security. We're also very proud of our existing contracts with the Department of Defense, specifically with the United States Air Force, where we have multiple phase 2 awards developing technology for perimeter security. However, one of our biggest highlights that I'm particularly proud of is 18,000 plus commercial missions that we have deployed. And those are paid missions with some of the most recognizable logos that we are honored to call customers, such as Ford, Dow, FedEx, and Verizon. And at the end of the day, when we look to enhance our technology capabilities, we look for companies that have similar pedigrees, passion, and culture for success. And most importantly, an unrelenting goal for customer experience, which is why we selected Boston Dynamics as our partner for our ground-based asset. A few highlights on why Boston Dynamics. 29-year-old company developing R&D specifically on robotics, 400 plus employees globally to support technologies and deployments. They've launched Spot in 2019. Now in the robotics space, we liken this to dog years. That's an eternity of data collection and experience in this space. 500 plus robots deployed across a variety of different verticals and customers. 5,000 plus kilometers of walk in real world deployments. And for me personally, given what we're experiencing now in the supply chain, an American-made base manufacturer. So what are the main use cases when you're deploying aerial and ground-based assets for perimeter security? Well, first and foremost, we look at pre-programmed missions. We liken it to, again, perimeter patrols. Secondly, we look at integrated alarm response, where we integrate with existing IoT devices or legacy systems, and we make them smarter. Our robots are able to autonomously respond to these alarms, verify false alarms, and also give real-world situational awareness in real time. And lastly, we empower the Security Operations Center of the future, allowing analysts to remotely log into these devices and command and control them, which we are going to show later today. So we have a quick video that we'd like to show you. And today's demo will be focused on Boston Dynamics UGV Spot platform and the Asalon innovations that have been integrated to make DroneDog, in our humble opinion, an absolute game changer for perimeter security operations. In our opinion, will usher in the Security Operations Center of the future, which we call the RSOC, the Robotic Security Operations Center. This video gives a quick overview of those Asalon innovations, such as the PupPack, which is a bolt-on autonomy, the DogHouse, which automates the entire backend for seamless operations, and DroneIQ, which provides all the existing software innovations to Spot. So a little bit of a deeper breakdown into some of those innovations. DroneIQ allows you to remotely monitor live video feeds, allows you to remotely command and control UGVs, and also allows you to integrate with existing automated alarm technologies. This is a quick snapshot on the Boston Dynamics Spot platform and gives you some high-level specifications on exactly the operational environment that you can look to deploy the Spot platform with our bolt-on autonomy, which we call DroneDog. And what you see here, again, a little bit of a deeper dive in our DogHouse, which has again, the automated charging station, and also has the opening and closing for weather protection. Again, built in for security, software, and upgradable technologies as well. And the PupPack, which allows and connects DroneDog to the cloud. So we hope you enjoy the live demo and are able to learn more about the security robotic space. And for a live demonstration, I'm going to kick it over to Mike Litchko, that is going to be presenting live from a robotic security operation feed now. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Again, I'm Michael Litchko, VP of Sales for Asalon. Joining me here and sitting to my left is James Tiedemann, our Director of RSOC Operations. And we are coming to you here live in Philadelphia from our Robotic Security Operations Center, which is a really cool and fun place. Right here is where we oversee all of the remote operations and remote support of our robotic systems at customer sites all around the country. And something that we staff and operate 24/7, mainly for some FAA compliance purposes on our Drone Sentry side, and also for remote support and security operational capabilities for our customers. I believe we referenced it earlier, but we're actually just about to cross the 18,000 mission threshold operating robotic systems dating back about the last 3 years. And about 10,000 of those have actually occurred here in this current 2021 calendar year. So we're really excited about the continued ramp up of remote operations that we're establishing here in Philly. Now, the vast majority of those missions have been with our Drone Sentry system, but we really are just starting to ramp up DroneDog UGV operations. And that's definitely going to be the focus for what we're doing here today. So I think what we're going to do is pull up the DroneIQ feed, and we'll start to do a little bit of a dog walk. And so, one aspect I want to highlight about our RSOC operations is really that direct line of communication between our SOC analysts here in Philly and our customers' security personnel, either local to sites or at their GSOC operations as well. And really working through the types of SOPs to really best leverage this robotic technology within those existing technology environments is really what we're excited to be doing and continuing to, I think, really kind of tread new ground on when it comes to the security industry. But as we're looking right now at the first person view of DroneDog, I'm going to ask James here to kind of wake up the dog, and maybe we'll start by flipping on our thermal view as we're starting from an interior space in this commercial facility. And what you can see right here is just the beginning of a ultimately remote operated drone patrol mission, DroneDog patrol mission. So James, if we could maybe kind of get the mission started, and we'll head on out and do a little patrol.
Yes, sir. So here we go, right out the warehouse here into great outdoors. Switch back to the EO here. Here we are.
Very cool. And so we're finding ourselves now in an exterior courtyard section of this commercial facility. It's actually an old textile factory. So we have multiple buildings, multiple layers of terrain, different types of elements to be navigating and looking through. And so really just being able to have this mobile observe and report capability is really kind of the game-changing capability with all this robotic technology. So James, why don't you take us up through this kind of stone wall here and through that underpass.
Yeah, you bet. I'll dial up the speed here a little bit too, so we can get up to where we're going a little bit quicker.
And so what you saw at the beginning was our payload capability built into the PupPack. We utilize a 720p EO camera that has a 20x optical zoom, as well as a high-res uncooled thermal sensor. And it's as easy as kind of clicking a button on the controllers to be able to go back and forth depending on what type of lighting condition that you're trying to operate in. But I think the goal here, and this is a lot of what we work kind of hand in hand with our customers on, is to really figure out, where are the highest areas of interest for providing this observe and report capability. This can obviously vary by the day or even by the time of day, depending on what type of facility that it is. But as we get to kind of this corner vantage point of the property, James can kind of sit and zoom in and out of different vantage points and really be able to kind of put eyes on anything that might be of interest.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and head up towards the top parking lot there so we can get a nice overview of the facility here.
Perfect. So one of the very, I think, powerful aspects of what our PupPack, DroneIQ, and DogHouse capability, kind of our bolt-on capability to the Boston Dynamics Spot platform, is that we have no distance limitation on remote operations. And so, right now we're sitting inside the facility. The dog is, a couple hundred yards away operating outside in the elements, but this could easily be happening with a dog in a facility all the way across the country. And in fact, that's what we'll be demonstrating in our obstacle course race coming up here in just a few minutes. But James, what are we doing as we kind of head up the hill here?
Yeah, so this is going up about a 5-degree incline. So it can handle, the dog itself can handle several different terrains, like you were mentioning. And we're gonna go and perch up here on the top of this grassy knoll. So we can do some zooming, gimbal around a little bit, check out some bad guys, and see what we got going on.
Yeah, and I think that's something that you really can't understate when you start looking at UGV platforms, is the all-terrain capability to be able to take the bot and be able to get off of a nice smooth roadway and step over curbs, walk through grass, go up hills, navigate gravel, go up and down stairs, and really enables us to take this asset and take it to virtually all corners of a property. As you can see, then we can really leverage some of the natural terrain as well to get better field of view.
Yeah, so we're up here on the top of the hill now, and what I'm utilizing is just the triggers on your standard game control here to zoom in and out, gimbal around. This payload, the Dragonite payload, is very powerful, and we're able to pick up license plates, identifying features, all sorts of pertinent information for security incidents and response.
Mm-hmm. And so something too that we want to highlight is that as we're remote operating the system here today from the Asalon RSOC with DroneDog, this is something that we can easily implement into our customer SOC operations as well, with relatively minimal training on the operation of the system. But what we're seeing here, actually, if you look at that upper right, we did detect a access control alarm. And so this is another unique feature of DroneIQ, is our ability to API connect with existing sensors, alarm panels, systems, any type of situational awareness IoT device to be able to provide an integrated alarm response capability. So as we basically proceed up to this corner here, we're going to see a perp. Look at this, a guy with a crowbar trying to pry into, that's actually a police building, if you can believe it. So if the police come running out of the shadows here, that's actually happening in real time. But what you're really seeing here is our inside sales rep, Dan Lambino, really just kind of showing what does happen more times than not on customer sites, which is you have a fence alarm, you have a radar-based alarm, you have an access control alarm, and having that robotic asset there to be able to verify whether it's a true alarm or a false alarm, and then also to be a non-human kind of interface to a potentially dangerous situation is obviously a huge benefit for the safety of all the security organization and officers within these types of facilities. And so this is typically where we definitely would be having direct comms with the customer security personnel. There's going to be established SOPs as to what's happening, who does what, who engages either local security officers or law enforcement, but all little details that we kind of work out on a case-by-case basis with our customers. But then really kind of once we wrap these kinds of missions, we're able to then go in and add documentation and notes into the DroneIQ software, into this discrete kind of mission record, which can then be accessed later. It can be shared internally, externally, for whatever type of after incident kind of processes that might be going on. So why don't you explain how we go in and actually do a docking and be able to put the dog to sleep for some charging?
Sure. Well, it's as easy as clicking. We developed here at Asalon the DogHouse, which is where the dog docks and charges on its pad there. And it's as easy as clicking the open DogHouse button on DroneIQ. Open that up. There we go. And all we have to do is drive the dog a little bit closer. As long as the cameras on the dog themselves, on the dog itself, can read that QR code, we click dock, and we'll be off to the races.
Yeah, this is really where the onboard sense and avoid technology that Boston Dynamics has built into Spot really makes the remote operation of this type of system very, very easy, because essentially as you are navigating, forward, backwards, right, left, if there is some type of obstruction, a person, an object, a vehicle, that kind of near field type detect and avoid kicks in. And so you really can't get into any trouble, even if some type of unknown object pops up into the path of where you're trying to take DroneDog.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of this mission, we'd log that in DroneIQ, contact the local authorities, local security on site, and then the dog's resting up, ready for its next patrol.
Excellent, excellent. Well, this is again where I think the innovation that's really come from our longstanding relationship with the U.S. Air Force, which really was kind of the driver in this technological development for us as a company, continues to be extremely valuable, and not only pushing the bounds of what DoD and our warfighters are doing out in the field, but then really benefiting our commercial security market and customers there. So we're really excited to be bringing this into the marketplace here in Q1 of 2022. And really, we're really excited to show how this remote operation capability can be done in some pretty interesting scenarios, as you're going to see with our obstacle course race here coming up next. So I see a lot of questions coming into the chat line, which is great. We're definitely going to save some time here after the race to be able to dive into all that. And any questions that we don't get to, we'll make sure to reach out directly to those folks with answers. But with that, Mike, I think I'm going to hand it back over to you, and we'll get the race going.
That's great. Thanks, Mike. Great demo. So you just seen how an Asalon trained robotics operator remotely commands and controls DroneDog. But how is it really? Can an untrained person with little to no training operate this? Well, we asked all of you when you registered if you were interested in controlling DroneDog during this demo. And I'm happy to introduce our guest operator, Rob Kay of Rivian Motors, where he is the manager of technical security engineering. And earlier this week, we mailed Rob an Xbox controller. Rob, can you hold that up for us?
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. Without my filter, there you go. Let me put it in front. So yeah, standard Xbox controller.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And Rob, where are you coming to us from?
I'm currently in Palo Alto, California. So
fantastic. So, and we asked him to test out his robotic skills on our newly built DroneDog obstacle course. I'm particularly excited about this, our inaugural, what we're calling DroneDog Racing Initiative. And with that being said, Rob, you will be testing your skills on this American Ninja Warrior type obstacle course. We will be timing you. And to add a little bit of additional stakes to this race, you'll be racing against our Chief Operations Officer, Brett McLaughlin. Now, I hate to tell you this, Rob, he built the tech. So I'm rooting for you, my man. And now for the main event in my best Bruce Buffer voice. Gentlemen, are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it on.
And Michael, would you like me to go first, or is
yeah, you're up.
Oh, apologies. Okay.
Yeah, you're first. We're gonna let you go first. You're the guest. We're gonna let Brent go second, man. Let's see if he can beat your time. Now, I can't really confirm or deny if he's purposely slowed down your robot so he can beat you. So I can not confirm or deny if there's any cheat codes available for you to game the system. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm timing you, man. So let's see what's going on here. So you let me know when you're ready.
Okay, no problem. So I've taken control of the DroneDog now. I'm going to give it the stand command.
Okay, so you're on, man. Timer's on.
Okay.
Let's see what you got. A little left action, a little right action. Right. And now you're going over the lava bridge. Let's see what you got, man. Oh!
Panic, panic.
A little right action. There you go. Again, onto the second lava bridge. Let's see what you got. Now this is what we're calling. I think this is the bridge of death. I don't know how many robots have fallen off of this thing so far. So let's see.
Oh, I'm in my stride now.
All right. 49 seconds. Let's see what you got. Home stretch. All right, this is reminiscent of American Ninja Warrior. I forget what they call this obstacle, but I think you got it, man. Look at the spot platform just easily eating up those pallets. All right, home stretch, man. Let's see if you got the sprint. Let's get it. And time. 120. You beat your last time, buddy.
120, not bad. I'll take that.
All right. 120 is the time to beat. Let's see what you got, Brent. Let's see if you really slowed down Rob's robot here.
Oh man, Rob, no pressure. You're embarrassing in front of my whole company.
All right, let me know when you're ready, Brent.
Yeah, let me maneuver it back to the front here.
Okay. So, Rob, thoughts? Ease and control. Is it as hard as some color commentary while Brent takes it to the starting line?
Yeah, I mean it's very reminiscent of video game performance. The fact that I'm based here in California, and there's no noticeable lag in terms of waiting for the dog to respond to the commands makes it very easy to navigate the terrain. It's surprisingly user friendly.
So you're telling me that my childhood has been preparing me for my professional career as a gamer.
I think we need to start recruiting from different different places and going and hitting up the esports for our
So I mean, part of robotics and automation is creating the workforce of the future. One of the biggest pain points that we talk about is labor shortages. So we're taking operators, the dull, the dirty, the dangerous, and we're putting them inside controller consoles. So I think Brent, are you set up, sir?
I think so. Minute 20 times a beat, huh?
We're zeroing him out. And Brent, don't forget to do the cheat code, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Select start, there we go. And you're good, you're off.
All right, let's see this. Rob, I was really impressed with how well you navigated this grid system here. I'll beware of robot, be careful there.
A little right, look, see Brent's the ringer. Spot eating up this obstacle course like it's nothing. I mean, if you had any doubt of why Boston Dynamics, hopefully this is really answering the mail on those questions.
I don't want to be the first one to fall off this.
Oh!
Ooh, that was close.
Oh my God, Rob.
Man, Rob's crushing me, I think.
I don't think that's recoverable here. 55 seconds. I don't know. All right, taking the turn. All right, here's the gauntlet.
Oh man. Oh
Brett,
no.
Brett,
Rob, you're embarrassing me.
There's obstacle avoidance here. I think we need an umpire's call.
Brett closing in a minute 25. We got a winner, Rob.
Congratulations, sir.
This is why they play the game.
This is why you play the game. All right, just so you know, 1:33 is the official time.
Great job, sir.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Well, as promised, we've reserved some time at the end for Q&A. Rob, thank you for being our very first drone DroneDog Racing Champion. You will be getting your belt, your championship belt here in short order. And so we started one more poll question, everyone, and that is, you know, are you headed to ISC West next year? And are you interested in participating in an immersive demo like this if you're attending? Please let us know. If you're not attending and you still want to participate in an immersive demo like this, please let us know as well. And so we will be reserving some time now and getting some Q&A. So I think right now we have overwhelmingly yes and positive that people will be attending ISC West, but also people are interested in this demo. So again, we will be reaching out to you, or please ping us if you're interested in having a one-on-one immersive demo to possibly race Rob. Who knows? We might have a championship belt at the end of the year. Rob, you're going to have to defend your title, my man. So with that being said, let's go. If you could join me here, and let's see what we got in terms of questions here. And forgive me, I don't have my glasses on here, Mike. So what are some of the questions here?
All right, so any thoughts putting a gimbal on the camera for DroneDog? Nope, sorry, let me get the view here. There actually is a gimbal for the camera on DroneDog. So the payload itself has its own gimbal control, and then ultimately you do have the ability to kind of maneuver the dog as well, so you can kind of fix the gimbal setting straight on the dog heading, and then just manipulate the dog. So it's really kind of either or as to what is going to work best for the application. What else do we have here? Any plans to upgrade the payload to 1080p? Most definitely, we're not the manufacturer of the payload, but we are always kind of looking for the kind of next latest and greatest that's coming online. What we really liked is the PTZ capability, and there is some back-end analytic development coming off of this payload as well. Stay tuned for more information on that in early 2022. But again, as these kind of drone and robotic payload options continue to improve within the marketplace, we'll always be looking for what's going to be best. You call it DroneDog. How are the UAS and Spot integrated together? So as you've seen, the bolt-on capability comes from the PupPack, and then that is what enables us to really tie the command and control into our DroneIQ platform, which is what we had traditionally been operating our Drone Sentry system out of, right? So we've added that PupPack, and then also brought in the fact of using the the DogHouse, so that we can truly position the Spot Dog out in the elements and not have to rely on any local personnel to be able to bring it in, take it out, charge it, do any of that type of stuff. So again, really kind of adding another layer of infrastructure automation to the Spot platform.
Sure, I'll read this one out. So it is, are your drone ops also operated remotely from the RSOC or with RPICS visual observer on site? So short answer is all of the above. We are currently getting waivers for a lot of these operations. And so there is a mixed bag of both RSOC operations, local visual observers, and remote piloting controls as well. See here, next question. Is there, I don't know, let's go if you can see that one there.
The current lag time in the feed is the question. And right now we have a couple second lag time in the feed. But Brett and our software team has been hard at work at some back-end video infrastructure that's going to be implemented here in early 2022. It's going to take that lag from both DroneDog and Drone Sentry to less than a second. So we're getting really close to being able to roll that out to the fleet. Very excited about that.
What's that question there? What are some of the main benefits of a ground all-terrain DroneDog versus your airborne drone? That's a very good question.
No, that's an excellent question. And that really is what we've been kind of learning and pulling data out of the field over the last 18 to 24 months. Really looking for the best use cases for the aerial drone, and now seeing where some of the best use cases for the dog come into play. And there's some just inherent kind of overlap of capabilities where there'll be scenarios where the drone, primarily because of weather, may not be able to fly for a alarm response mission or patrol, but the dog has a different set of operational envelope capabilities when it comes to that. Obviously, the drone is going to be a lot faster and cover a lot more ground than the dog. So you kind of have the ability to have the two play off one another. So depending on what the problem set is that you're really looking to solve for, we really see that, you know, likely the most effective recipe is going to be air and ground in concert together. But, you know, again, that's where kind of getting the site-specific conversations, size of the site, and other types of considerations can really dictate what the best fit is going to be
Yeah, I mean,
for your needs.
and I would say ultimately it comes down to two different things, right? You know, our end users are looking for, you know, covering a gap. You know, is it a force multiplier application, or are they looking for ROI? And ultimately, those particular use cases are unique in how you deploy those assets. And so again, we're seeing it across the spectrum, you know, particularly for perimeter security on traditionally hard pieces of dirt to protect with traditional innovations. That's where we're seeing, you know, the combination of air and ground being really most effective.
Exactly. And so there was definitely a question there on the cost side, and you mentioned ROI. And there's definitely a few kind of specific feature sets that dictate the final bottom line pricing, but effectively on average, you can deploy an air and ground asset at a lower cost than a single 24/7 guard position would cost you for an exterior observe and report. So just kind of keep that in mind, and whether it's being able to fill positions that you just can't get people to apply for, or whether you're looking to just go a different direction with your security officer spend, there's definitely a lot of interesting financial business case opportunities out of that.
Absolutely.
What else do we have here? How do they decipher what is normal versus suspicious? How do we alert? Can they be sent to an iPhone? So what you saw today and what we've been working, you know, looking back the last 18 months is a manual analysis, obviously, right? So again, this kind of observe and report capability is really being fulfilled between our SOC operators here and then ultimately the security operations team at our customer sites. We are working diligently on video analytics, classifier-based detection, zone-based and schedule-based detections that will allow patrols, robotic patrols, to be able to do a little bit of their own analysis to start to kind of trigger more autonomous type alarm capabilities. So again, you know, when we really are looking at where we're going to be 12 months from now, that's all stuff that is very much high on the priority list from our technology group. So what else do we have? So how long can it operate on a single charge? That's a great question. We typically like to see, I think if you really go to max out the batteries, the battery power, it's about 90 minutes. We've really found as we're doing a lot of stress testing and endurance testing with the dog units that probably 60 minutes is maybe a little bit better, you know, time cap to really maintain the integrity of the battery. But really when we're looking at how do we schedule and account for the recharge time, which on the DroneDog, it's about a 1-to-1. So if you operate it for 20 to 30 minutes, then you get about 20 to 30 minutes of recharge time to get back up to full power. So that's where, again, looking at site-specific details, routes, scheduling, to really try to create as much overlap as you can from a patrolling perspective is just some of the site-specific details that we can work through with you. What do we have here? Is there GPS tracking in the event that they are stolen? I've actually got to defer to Brent on that. I know we do have, you know, GPS capability, and honestly, this is a question that comes up more often than not so much on the GPS side, but just, you know, are they stolen? Can they be stolen? And so really what you see when you get up close and personal to these dogs, they look kind of, you know, small and easily kind of lifted, but with their kind of autonomous capabilities, if they get lifted up, these things freak out, basically, right? So, you know, if somebody who's trying to put their hands underneath the body up and do this and that, I mean, they very well likely may not walk away from that feeling very good about what they're trying to do. And so looking at, honestly, over the 500 plus spot units that are out in the field, not all of them obviously doing security, but none of them have been stolen. There aren't really any incidents of that so far. So, you know, something we'll kind of just have to wait and see how that plays out. and they operate without a user. So not today, but that is pretty much our top technical milestone on the 2022 roadmap for DroneDog, is adding more autonomous capabilities, pre-programmed patrol capabilities. Something that we'll be adding and really providing some insights and highlights to here over Q1 and Q2 of 2022. Right now, it is mainly a remote operated system. And that's something that, again, we can provide that capability from our RSOC here, or we can very quickly and easily train your folks to be remote operating these from your facilities as well.
Can they get up if they were tipped over? Absolutely. Yes. And if it wasn't for a engineering requesting for me not to kick it over, I would have happily shown you what the self-mounting and self-righting capability is. But I mean, again, if you look on YouTube or any of these videos, you'll be able to see the self-righting capability for the Spot platform that Boston Dynamics did a fantastic job on creating. And so I think that should wrap up. I mean, we have a lot more questions there. I think most of them have been answered, but I think we're up against our time slot here. So with that being said, Mike, this was a fantastic, inaugural sneak peek here. And I would say, tune in for more of these types of events. If you're interested, and again, in doing one of these one-on-one immersive demos, please reach out to us, as we will be doing a lot more of these here in short order. But aside from that, from the Asalon team, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will be hopefully in touch with you here shortly. So take care and thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Enjoy the end of
holidays.
the year.
Likewise.